evening, everybody. This is Weekly Wall Wagers with my boy Will, David, and as you know, me, the banker, Jonathan, whatever you want to call me.
What's up, Banker?
Um,
What's up, David? Good to see y'all.
How's it going?
I'm here,
Long
buddy.
time
I'm,
no
I'm
talk
fired
to.
up.
yeah, we got some pretty interesting stuff, but first, Will, how was your day? What did you do?
What did I do today? Gosh, I spent some money. I don't know if we've done an episode on this on Weekly Wallet Wagers yet, but dealt with the fun process of having to go get my vehicle inspected and spend money doing that. And of course, I didn't have a vehicle to go pick it up, so paying an Uber to go to the shop to pay the mechanic to pick up my vehicle for an inspection, so I can then go pay the state, pay them off, and pay the DMV's extortion fees to sell me a sticker to put on my tag so I can't be extorted by the police and have to pay their tickets for not having a sticker. In case y'all want to know how I
Nice.
feel about the
I
deal.
had thought, like you mentioned that. So I got my oil change done at the dealership. I used to do it myself. Okay. I sat there and I thought about, because at the time I was taking like a class based off of accounting and then economics at the same time. And I sat there and I'm like, okay, if I do the oil change myself, all right, it's going to be cheaper. I just get synthetic oil filter, I just pour it in. I might have to have a tool or two, but it will be fine. I'll do the oil change myself. It'll be like $35-$40. And then I sat there and I'm like, if I go to the dealership, they offer me a discount. It costs me like $50, $45. Okay. And I'm like, so if I go to the dealership, it's $10 more. But at the same time, for me to do my own oil change, it's like 15 minutes. Okay. Sometimes I put the filter on there a little too tight, and it takes me 20 minutes because I'm fucking struggling with it, or friggin' struggling with it. But then like I sat there, and I'm like, the opportunity cost of me spending time on my oil filter could be worth me going to the dealership instead.
Yep. I was wondering where you were going to go with this story, because I'm like, this is such a poor person decision to like try to save a buck and change your own oil. I'm like, just like people don't. And then I'm like, you circled back around to the point,
That's
banker.
it. Well, I was like, if I spend time doing the oil change, like I have to get tools, I have to get, I have to go to the store, I have
You
to
have to
get
get
all,
dirty.
I have to get dirty, I gotta take a shower, like things like that. It takes time. I have to focus on it. I can't really like, do schoolwork on my laptop, or I can't like, go to a business meeting or something on my laptop while I'm doing an oil change.
Can't do a weekly wallet wagers.
We
This is
could,
true.
Yeah.
but
What about you, David? What's been going on in your
yeah.
life
What's going on with you, David?
I've
and
just been
current
getting.
life? I know we have some current events to talk about tonight too.
I've just been packing for this business trip I have upcoming. Going to Pennsylvania for the next week. I'm excited for that. Just been doing a bunch of laundry. Got to hang out with a couple buddies for about an hour. And I made some lunch. Cooked up some stir fry.
Nice. I hear you, man. Tell us about that background you got. I know y'all are watching us on YouTube because we tell you to every week. John, we've seen yours before. That I believe that's our cover art from episode 2. Tell us about yours, David.
We're launching a show called Discover Wellness with Dr. David. We're really looking forward to being able to bring you guys some real information that you can use in your daily lives regarding your health and wellness. So tune in. It's coming real soon, and we're really excited to bring that to you guys.
Very good. Well, thank you, David. What's been going on in the world? I believe you have some current events for us this week.
Absolutely. First and foremost, something that we haven't talked about yet, but something that Joe Biden has mandated to the Department of Wellness is that companies of over 100 employees or more are going to have to require their employees to either get vaccinated or have weekly negative tests, or violations per employee per week are going to be $14,000 per employee. So, for instance, if you had 100 employees that violated, that would be $1.4 million per week, and that could be an entire company's budget, and that could easily wipe a company out of business if this is enforced. And so there's a lot of questions rising up right now about how is this going to be enforced and how is this going to impact the future and the days coming, and how is this going to be handled by the rest of the government, or does the president actually have the power to do this?
I'm glad you mentioned that the financial impact to like businesses. Like people believe a small business might be a mom and pop shop, but like really, like small businesses, like they could have 200 employees, and like one of the financial institutions that I know about here in Colorado, they have maybe 300 employees, and sure, it's $2 billion worth of like asset management, but you got to sit there and realize like they're only in the state of Colorado. Like it's technically a really small business. And I just thought that's interesting. It have you heard of like maybe states resisting this?
There are a lot of questions right now if the president even has the power to enact something like this, or if it is our First Amendment right to be allowed to make decisions like those for ourselves. A lot of Americans are wondering, with a lot of totalitarian decisions being made recently, what is the limit of the power of the president, or are we just going to allow these things to keep happening?
That has kind of been an argument, though, every presidential cycle when a new leader from an opposing party gets in office. Everybody always asks, what is the limit of what they can do and enforce? But I mean, you raised some good points, though, both of you guys, because somebody texted me earlier this week. And it's somebody that I know that we kind of battle about the whole COVID argument because they're super pro mask and like they think I'm a super irresponsible citizen for never wearing, and so like we kind of banter back and forth, but we're friends. And she texted me and she said, "Hey, did you see that Biden came up, with this, with the new mandate that everybody's gonna have to get vaccinated and tested and all this week?" And I instantly wrote back and I said, "Good luck. How's he gonna enforce it?" Like not challenging that the president had the authority to make that order, but like my question is okay, if they do this, how is it going to be okay, so I get that there can be fines and all, but like when will that be implemented? What department from government's going to be doing that? Like where is the buck going to start and stop flowing with all this?
I also had another question because I just thought about this. So there's fines if you don't get vaccines, but on the other flip side, or vaccinated or tested or anything like that. But on the flip side, is the government willing to pay for your employees to receive these tests? Are we going to start using federal tax dollars to fund these businesses to take those tests? Because we got to sit there and realize every single one of these employees have to take time out of the day to go get tested. That's productivity we're losing, either whether you're on the job or off the job. It's inconveniencing it's inconveniencing everybody. Let's just be honest here.
No, I mean that's a good point, John. And I know these two questions kind of go hand in hand, both about how is Biden going to enforce all this with COVID. What's your opinion on this, David? On both John's points and mine that kind of go together.
Absolutely. Not only is it going to cost a business to do rapid tests on a regular basis, and that's going to cause congestion and possible fines could cause a lot of harm to businesses as well. But really, the overarching declines that we've seen aren't due to the Delta variant. They're really because of this administration, because we're being told to be afraid of this we're being told to be afraid of unvaccinated people when almost everybody who should be afraid of the vaccine or should be afraid of COVID should already be vaccinated. And so today, Biden, he told us that we should be afraid of COVID again, but if you're vaccinated, then everything should be going back to normal. Businesses shouldn't be having these mandates. If you're afraid of COVID, then you should go get the vaccine. And if you're unvaccinated, you're probably not afraid of COVID. And so if you're fall into one of those two groups, then you should be allowed to go back to work and be allowed to exist in society as normal. For children, COVID, unvaccinated children are less likely to die from COVID than vaccinated adults. And so this isn't a risk for children. They should be allowed to go back to school. A lot of things that are affecting business and things are being scared. We're being forced to wear the masks. Things are being told that things are getting worse again. But everything should be continuing for businesses, and this is really putting a hinder on our economy when there doesn't need to be.
Very well put. Well, it'll be interesting to see where this whole COVID nightmare takes us. I know a lot of people thought we were out of the woods when vaccines started coming and businesses started opening up. And it'll be interesting to see where the different variants and solutions that our world leaders have take us for sure. So thank you guys both for your opinion on that.
Absolutely.
Of course, this has been another episode of Weekly While It Wagers. Thank you guys for checking in on our COVID discussion of the week. We'll see you next time.